Michelle.
Hi.
You know, my life is so different now that I've come out as a theater queen.
How do you feel?
Well, it still feels a little bit weird because, and I've told you this, I had a prejudice about it because there's this preciousness that Broadway has.
Yeah, we never got into all of this because we touched on it briefly because
it's always so exclusive. There's an inclusive. What's the one? Yeah, exclusive.
Exclusivity.
Yeah.
But for me, I always felt the opposite, which is why I was encouraging. I'm so glad we're bringing this up. I told Lily's always wanted to be in theater.
Now, who's Lily?
She's the depressed one, the 16-year-old. That's a terrible moniker.
You're a terrible mother.
She's the 16-year-old.
Yeah.
I told her.
The one you gave birth to.
Correct.
Yeah.
The one of two that I gave birth to.
Oh.
I told her to get into theater, that she'd find her tribe there. I'm telling you, I know it. And she couldn't because she's an athlete. So finally, she quit track and she decided to go into theater herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she, like you are saying, experienced that when she was auditioning for the musical. She was sitting all alone in a 5-hour audition,
That's
which I think is ridiculous for high school.
Cruel.
5 hours, and nobody talked to her. And not that she went to talk to them, but she was in their house and she was like, by herself, and nobody approached her and said, hey, not that it's their responsibility. Kids don't really get that shit. But the bottom line is she felt the same way that you are saying. She felt like she didn't fit in. They weren't welcoming her because she wasn't one of them. And she's now having to prove herself into the club, which she's doing. And now she's got to go through this whole almost hazing thing to be part of this national thing. But I never felt that way. And it could be I'm blind to it because I've always been in the theater community.
And you've always been outgoing. You are one of those people who will walk up to a crowd and go, hey, what's up?
Yes.
You're that girl.
Yes. In a theater.
She's not. She's not.
She's not. And neither were you, I guess.
No, I had to force myself to do it.
But you did it.
But I did it.
She'll do it more now. Now that she's loosened up a little bit and conquering her depression in her own way, though it's very present and every day is different. On a good day, she'll do that, and she's the clown of the group, and I see it. She's very much her mother's child. The difference is I always fought that inner thing, which is ironic because it's more so present now than it's ever been. As a kid, I felt invincible, and I could do anything. I was the next Madonna. I got everything because you couldn't tell me I wasn't the best. And now I go, oh, my God, I'm not the best. I'm not even the medium. Like I feel like I suck, when back then I didn't. So that's interesting how self-awareness does bad things as much as it does good things.
Yeah, and I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
Going back to this whole point is I never saw the theater community as being exclusive or precious. I felt that they were all inclusive because we were the weird people. We were the misfits. We were the ones who didn't fit in anywhere else. So we either went to the AV crew or we went to theater. And my love has always been theater, so I always felt part of it. But I'm not part of the Broadway community. They haven't welcomed me in. I am going to have to fight my way in. So I do understand now.
Well, you're talking about two different things. There's the Broadway.
Well, that's what you're talking about.
No, well, I'm talking about the people who love theater. You're
talking about the spectators?
Well, no, I'm talking about the whole world of Broadway. The people who go see shows and this and that and this and that, and the actors. Then there's the subgroup of the actual actors and performers. So there's the theater world, which includes the audience, the people who perform in it, who work in it. And then there's a subgroup of the actors, the performers who are in it, right? So you're saying that subgroup has not welcomed you. You are part of the whole Broadway theater storyline.
I feel like all theater people are part of a beautiful thing called the theater world.
Yeah.
And they welcome everybody with open arms. I think breaking into the subset that you're talking about, the intricate inner workings, is the hard part.
Right. Well, because humans do want exclusivity. Humans want to be part of an exclusive club because it makes humans feel special. It's like, we're over here and you're over there. And me being an outsider my whole life, I've always felt that the theater storyline it's too precious for me because I don't like pretentiousness. Right. I've never liked people being so even with I'd be around certain Diana Ross fans because I'm a big Diana Ross fan my whole life, and I'm able to talk about her career both pro and con. I'm able to say, remember when she wore that hideous outfit?
Yeah.
And the look on their faces, they'd be like,
how dare you?
How bloody dare you say that? I'm like, wait a minute. No, I love her. I love it. But, let's get real. Let's talk about.
It's evolution.
Yeah.
You can't look at the good without looking at the bad.
You
You can't know where
exactly.
you're going without seeing where you're from.
Thank you, Facts of Life.
Thank you.
Take
Take the good and the bad, although I was quoting Eric B. and Rakim. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the difference between you and I.
Exactly.
Yeah. But,
But that's the whole thing. Let me just say that's
George.
the whole.
Let me just tell
Take
him.
it just in case.
No, I'm going to cut it off. I'll call him back later.
Okay. The whole thing with Madonna and Lady Gaga and all these things about that. It's like there's always good. You take the good, you take the bad. I gave you your Facts of Life.
Yeah.
There's always that. And I see what you're saying. There's stands out there that can't sit back and pull out and go, oh, yeah, that was kind of shitty or, whatever happened. But it's part of how we grow and it's part of who we are. And I think what you're saying is it ain't that serious.
It ain't that serious, hon.
Yeah.
It ain't that serious.
Yeah.
Take a joke. So I am a theater queen. I'm out loud and proud.
So proud of you. It makes my heart sing.
But I can still, say, you know what? That show sucks.
Yeah. I think we should be able to say that show sucks 100%. And I think they'll agree because there's shows that close early that shouldn't be closing, like Something Rotten, that doesn't suck and it's fucking brilliant.
Oh my God, it's so brilliant.
And then there's shows that go forever, Cats, that shouldn't because I don't think they're as fantastic. Do you know what I mean?
When I saw Cats in 1988,
Did you see it? Oh, you saw it with Betty Buckley.
No, she wasn't in the show then.
Okay.
I saw it for the first time. I had taken a bunch of mushrooms and went to see Cats, and it was fabulous.
It is fabulous.
But again, I was crunk up on mushrooms.
Sober. Yeah, go see it sober.
Do I have to?
No,
really?
No,
I don't want to.
No.
I don't want to.
Me neither.
But this is the thing. Oh, so I'm out. I'm loud. I'm out.
Proud.
I'm proud.
Yes. You're also loud.
I'm loud.
That's okay. I'm loud. You're right.
And I'm a theater queen.
Yay!
I'm a theater queen. But listen, I went
But
to.
you're not a full theater queen because you won't listen to soundtrack. Because I want you to take a look at my phone.
Oh God! And so it begins.
I'm not comparing.
What?
I'm just saying that.
'Cause
just name the last four that I just added.
Okay,
Go.
I see Violet Sutton Foster. I know that name.
Yes.
In Violet, I see Sunny in the Park with George. Who's in the Park with George?
Yes.
And Anyone Can Whistle.
Yes.
Whose show is that? And I see Company.
Yes.
Now these are shows that are in your iTunes library.
These are just ones that
on
I went,
your
I
phone.
don't have. Like, I even downloaded Bat Boy the Musical because there's some really good songs on it that I didn't know. Victoria.
What happens to all these shows? Where do farts go, Michelle? What happens to all of these shows? They just sit somewhere.
They wait for high schools to buy the rights. They wait for small towns to buy the rights and do them. Like Lily's school for their spring musical, of all fucking musicals, they chose to do Big Fish.
Oh, right. That was on Broadway a few years ago. Is that
It
from the
lasted
movie?
3 months.
That was
from
from
the
the
movie
movie.
with Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
It is not a good musical. There are not good songs in there.
Yeah.
So, but what happens is Big Fish that lasted 3 months or whatever it did on Broadway lives out there until, so-and-so high school goes, oh, well, let's buy the rights to do.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. They live out there for that. Or if they're lucky enough, like the Hamiltons and the Phantom of the Opera and things like that, which are brilliant musicals, and they're going to last a long, long time.
Right. And they have theater, they have touring companies.
And then they have touring
shows.
companies like Hamilton's got Chicago now, London, Los Angeles, and some great musicals. Maybe let's use The Rink, for example, which didn't last very long, and it's so fucking brilliant. And I don't know what happens to them. They sit out there until somebody goes, I'm scared to redo this because how am I going to redo this without Cheetah and Liza? Who's going to be Cheetah? Who's going to be Liza? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we were talking. Remember on the way back from the Emmys, I told you my idea of having a theater where it would, in New York, where we would put on shows like The Rink and it'd have a limited run and it would be a subscription thing where all the people who remember those shows,
They'll go
we
and would
see
sell it out. Let's do it.
Yeah. So we take some old theater, some old whatever.
Smaller theater.
Smaller,
right?
Well, smaller,
It's not
okay.
going to be a Nederlander.
No, but it doesn't have to be on Broadway.
No, it's going to be off.
It could be in Bushwick.
No.
Okay. So some theater, and we do shows like Carrie.
Yes.
And no, it
Well,
wasn't
Lily's
a good
doing
show.
Carrie right now in school. Carrie's camp.
Yeah.
And the problem with Carrie that Lily's finding is people are taking it really seriously.
Uh-oh.
And if you can't find the fun in Carrie, then
Yeah.
you shouldn't do Carrie.
Right.
That's the whole joy. But let's say shows like City of Angels or A Woman of the Year. A Woman of the Year, I don't think has been put up since Lauren Bacall did it, right? I don't know.
No, I remember Raquel Welch did it after Lauren Bacall.
But wasn't it all that after she left?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's been put up since then.
Yeah.
The act, the act is all Liza, but
Right.
it's all any Candor and Ebb. I'll take it.
Okay. All right. But you know how, there are these sort of not repertory companies, but sort of retro companies.
Yes.
Who do, if there was this
Repertoire.
Broadway theater company
That would just do old shows.
Just do old shows and give people an opportunity to see them again.
You could even have those old shows and have players that you employ. Let's say me, for example. just use me, for example. You could use me and Sutton Foster and whoever to constantly be in these musicals,
right,
in different roles. So you have people that are employed. So if somebody's, if they buy tickets to our retro repertoire theater, they'll always get the performers in different roles. That's kind of fun, where that they're talented people, if the people want to commit, to a year's worth of shows. And then you give, 5 musicals in a year, that type of thing. And they have a run for a month or two. Yeah. And then they're done. And then I just don't know cost effectively if that would make sense.
Right.
But there's such great shows out there that don't get any love, and even Whorehouse or Drowsy Chaperone, like all these shows that are just sitting there, and old ones. Damn Yankees came back a little bit and went away. There's just Guys and Dolls.
What's the big song from Anyone Can Whistle?
Let me look.
Who wrote that show?
Anyone Can Whistle is Sondheim.
Oh, is it? It does have a big song.
It's Angela Lansbury's in it.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to see who wrote the book.
Anyone Can Whistle. I've heard of that show. I need to make a dirty charades out of Anyone Can Whistle.
Anyone could pissle. Anyone could
whistle. Whistle's the key word. It'll figure it out. Anyone can whistle. Whistle. Yeah. But I need a list. Where's that restaurant? Oh, was it Joe? What's the Broadway Joe?
Joe's Cafe, Smokey Joe's Cafe?
No, there's a show. There's a restaurant. Everybody goes after
a Broadway show?
Yeah. Not Sardi's, but Joe. It's over. I think it's on 49th.
I can look it up.
Between 8th and 9th.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah. Anyway, so because they have these posters.
Is it just called Joe's?
I don't know. Maybe. They have these posters on the wall of all these failed shows.
Oh, that's the best way to look at it.
I love it.
Yeah.
They have all these posters of things that everyone's forgotten. And you imagine all of the work that's put into these shows.
Is it Broadway Joe's?
No.
Whatever.
All the work, Joe something. Anyway, all the work put in the songs. It's amazing. And then they just go away. They go. Where do broken hearts go, Michelle?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there are some incredible, like Violet. I don't know. I downloaded
What is
it.
that?
It's a musical that Sutton Foster's in, and I only downloaded it because Sutton Foster's in it.
Who is Sutton Foster? I've seen the name. Who is she? How would I know her?
She was in Drowsy Chaperone. She was in a TV show called Bunheads.
Yeah. But I remember Bunheads.
She was in Thoroughly Modern Millie. She was in. She's done. She's so good. Yeah. She's one of the quintessential Broadway people.
Well, this thing, as going back to the earlier point, I'm a Broadway queen. I'm a show queen now. It still makes me feel a little uncomfortable because it comes with this concept of, that maybe now I have to start wearing scarves.
Oh, shut up.
Or that I need to start smoking a pipe, maybe.
Okay. If this were 1947, perhaps.
Yeah.
But it's not like that anymore. At all,
but but preciousness is still there because humans.
Do you think? Well,
humans don't need much to turn something into something precious and something exclusive. It's like walking on your hind legs. George Orwell's Animal Farm. The pigs start walking on their hind legs. Because they're so hoity-toity, and that's the part of it. I love the shows. I love the talent. I don't like the hoity-toity. Same with the fashion industry. Love the clothes. Love the creativity. I cannot stand the peoples.
Right.
I can't stand the pretentiousness,
Yeah.
And this is why drag is always so attractive to me, because drag makes fun of all identity, all pretentiousness. Drag is like a waka, waka, waka.
Correct.
But
But that's what theater is meant to be, I think.
Yeah, but
and
the
it's when people take it too seriously.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Joe something. Most people, doesn't take much for people to take anything and turn it into something precious.
Yes. And that happens. I think that happened with Hamilton. I think that happened with a lot of musicals that didn't have to be turned into that.
Yeah.
What I love about the theater world is it allows you to fangirl over the same stuff. Like, to me, the real stars of the world are Cheetah Rivera, Patti LuPone, Stephen Sondheim.
Yes, you've said
Frank
that.
Lester.
Yes.
So for me, and it's the same way people, I guess, think about
Joe
Steve Jobs.
Montana.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever.
No. Who are the football players?
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
Right?
Yeah.
Things like that. Joe Namath, whoever. And I
Yeah.
get it.
Oh, those twins, those boys, with
twins.
the big foreheads, the football players.
Peyton and Eli Manning.
Yeah,
They
those guys.
twins, are they?
I
No,
don't
one's
know.
older than
They
the
look
other.
They look like they're
And I think
look-alike.
there's a third brother too.
Yeah.
I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I think.
Oh, anyway, so we've got the kid from the Cosby Show coming up.
Raven-Symone, yay.
Raven-Symone. Did I say Cosby Show? I'm sorry. That was I wasn't thinking. That's the first thing that comes to my mind when I
She
think
was
of her.
from the Cosby Show.
She was.
Yeah.
But we're not supposed to talk about Cosby.
Oh, she was Olivia.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Rudy.
what the show was called. No, Rudy was the other one.
Oh, Rudy was the other one.
She was
That's right.
Keisha Knight Pulliam.
Yes.
She Olivia.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we've got her coming up in a minute. But we don't. Anyway, we're going to talk about her name too, which is not Raven-Symone. Actually.
No, which is what we always thought it was.
Anyway, we can take a break. We'll be right back. Hey, I'm a big fan of therapy,
Oh,
and I think therapy should and can be affordable, confidential, and convenient.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Talkspace is. Only with Talkspace do you get unlimited messaging with your dedicated licensed therapist for just $32 a week.
Where else are you going to get a therapist for $32 a week?
Nowhere. And now you can even schedule a live video session with your therapist right from your smartphone.
It's the best way to do it. I have to tell you, so many people want therapists. They don't know where to start.
They don't know where to start.
Talkspace is the place to go. And for $30 off your first month, go to Talkspace.com/Rue, or you can download the Talkspace app on the Apple or Android App Store. You know how we roll, and use the coupon code RU. No, it wasn't a successful run. And Angela Lansbury.
Wait a minute, we are back, and we're still talking about Anyone Can Whistle.
Because you asked me what the big song was. I think Anyone Can Whistle is the big song.
Do you know any sort of, over 60 year, maybe let's try over 70 theater people who you can call up and say, who was in
You know who knows everything?
Who?
Bruce Vilanch.
He knows Broadway stuff too?
Everything. There is not one thing Bruce Vilanch does not know about Broadway.
We should get him on here.
100%.
Oh my God, we've got to get Bruce Vilanch on the thing, and he will tell us not only about Broadway, but about what's happening in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Do you know what his first movie was?
No.
Mahogany.
What?
Bruce Vilanch plays a designer in the Diana Ross film Mahogany.
Oh my God, I love Mahogany.
Yeah.
And I did not know that. Could you pick him out? Like when you
yeah.
first,
When you see it, you'll know.
Okay.
Actually, the first time I saw him, I thought, hey, there's that guy from
Mahogany.
Mahogany.
Of course you did.
You know what happened earlier this year? I think it was this year. Did I tell you this? I got to spend time with Barry Gordy, the producer of the show Fresh Paint.
Okay.
Is good friends with Barry Gordy, the entertainment
Svengali.
mogul Svengali, who created Motown Records. Well, Barry Gordy also directed the film Mahogany. So he came by to visit this producer friend, and then came over to my dressing room while I was working, while I'm on my break, to say hi. And he and his friend stayed in my dressing room, watching Mahogany for just about under an hour. And he was saying, oh, see that scene right there? That's, those are my parents in the balcony right there. I'm like, what?
What was that like for you?
It was glorious.
Yeah.
It was a dream come true, because you know how many times I've seen the movie Mahogany?
Unfortunately, I do.
Yeah. And so And I got to ask him about everything. And I think he's about 85 years old.
He's up there.
Sharp as a tick. Is that, or a tick or a tack?
Mm-hmm.
Tic Tacs, yeah. She's sharp as Tic Tacs.
His ticks could be sharp.
They certainly
Suck your
can.
blood.
Certainly, sure. And so lovely, so smart, Michelle. So smart.
Well, he didn't get to be who he is, you know.
Exactly. You know, he's got the Broadway show. Actually, Motown, his show, his jukebox show is coming back to Broadway. It's coming back to Broadway this summer.
It's very good, you know.
I want to see it.
It's on in London right now.
Well, it's coming back to Broadway in July, I believe. I think previews start even before that.
Listen, I'm not a fan of jukebox shows. At the end of the day, I'm just not.
Yeah.
But he does do a good job with it.
Some are better than others, I got to say.
Yes.
But one of the things he told me, a cute story, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me telling this, is that one time, I think in the 60s, Marvin Gaye came to him and said, Barry, I know what I should be doing. I finally figured it out.
And was he big at this point?
In the 60s, Marvin Gaye was still big. He hadn't had the huge breakout albums that came.
Which was the 70s, right?
Which came in 16. I think What's Going On came in 69.
Did it? Okay.
Something like that. But, you know, he had Ain't Too Proud to Beg. He had Heard It Through the Grapevine. Huge hits. In fact, Marvin...
But no, Sexual Healing was the 80s.
Yeah, that was the 80s.
Yeah.
But Marvin Gaye was actually married to Berry Gordy's older sister. There was a 17-year age difference.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, I believe it's 17 years. In the 60s, Marvin Gaye came to Berry Gordy and said, I figured it out. This great singer said, I know exactly what I need to be doing with my life. Berry said, what is that, Marvin? And Marvin said, I need to be playing football.
Did he try? Did he do it?
I don't know.
Where did that even come from?
I don't know. Can you imagine this great legend?
I mean, and sexy.
Oh my God. Yes.
Sexy.
Sexy.
Good Lord.
So we had a great time with Berry Gordy talking for just under an hour about
that must have been so amazing for you.
It was so amazing.
Yeah.
Because and of course my computer was open and my screensaver is all of my favorite pictures of Diana Ross through her career. And of course Diana Ross is he was her Svengali.
Yeah.
You know, those two together were dynamite. And so at one point when my computer went to sleep, all of these great pictures of Diana started flashing, you know.
Oh my God, was he like, whoa?
So I saw him look over and I was like, I told him, well, those are my favorite Diana Ross. And he knows, and they were her best photographs. Yeah. But just amazing. You think you live long enough and you put these seeds out into the world of thinking, oh, one day I'd love to sit with Berry Gordy and just pick his brain about things.
You manifested it.
And I manifested it.
Yep.
Brilliant.
You did.
Brilliant. So anyway, so we talked a little bit about Raven-Symone, how we always call her Raven-Symone.
Yeah, but who knew?
Who knew? Yeah, pronounce her name for me.
Raven-Symone.
Symone.
Yeah. Raven-Symone. But if you think about it, even back then when she was playing Little Olivia, when you looked at her name, there was an accent over the E.
Yes.
And nobody ever pronounced. I mean, how many things has she done over the years when she was like, that's so Raven?
Yep.
And all these other shows, nobody ever said, that's so Raven-Symone.
Right.
It was always Raven-Symone. Even on The View, even now, people will call her Raven-Symone.
Yeah.
And that's not right. But
That's
I think, I'm sure at some point, you give up.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. And that's what people are going to call it.
Yeah, I've done that with Mr. Paul. You know, people have always called me Mr. Paul.
Right. Or they'll say to me, I know when Rue's, his boy, you know, he's Andre. And I go, no. That's his middle name.
Yeah. This weekend I worked on the show and they said, your name is Charles, right? I'm like, no, it's not actually.
The funny thing, if you look at it, RuPaul would be the least of the first names. So I think it confuses them because it's RuPaul Andre Charles.
Yes.
So they look at Andre and they go, oh, well, that must be his first name. Or
Right.
RuPaul being a stage name and then Charles his last name.
Yeah.
And if they call you Charles, it's just because the only name they understand. They ain't trying to say RuPaul or Andre. It's too confusing.
Yeah, people are very confused. I always wonder, though, like with the great star Anne Margaret, what do people call her? You know?
Because her name's Anne and Margaret.
Well, yeah, it's Anne hyphen Margaret, Anne Margaret.
Well, it's just like Anna Marie or, you know.
Well, I'm sure
Beth Ann.
her first name is Anne Margaret.
Mm.
She doesn't have a last name.
Is that what another mother named her, Anne Margaret? Or
Anne
was
Margaret.
it something else at birth?
I'm sure she's Swedish.
Let's
So
look it
I'm
up.
sure that there is a Swedish version of that.
And I love the way she spells Margaret.
Yes.
Because it's literally how
Yeah.
it sounds.
Because it's Anne Margaret Olson is her last name, isn't it? But her married last name is Smith.
Who did she marry?
Roger Smith.
Um,
He was the, I think it was the actor on.
she was born in Visage, Sweden, daughter of Anna Regina Olsen. Yeah. So that's what it was. It was Anne Margaret. Yeah.
Anne Margaret Olson.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then is Roger Smith still alive, the husband?
Her spouse
Yeah.
is Roger Smith, still alive.
Huh.
They got married in 1967.
Yeah.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
And she's 75 right now.
God, and still a knockout.
Stunning.
Stunning.
Yeah, it was different back then, I have to tell you. Because of the lack of preservatives and GMOs and all that crap, they were able to be healthier. And now and it goes to show you, because them back there, they're going to live longer than our generation is living now.
You think so?
100%. We're not living that long anymore.
I'm thinking the preservatives are going to keep me alive.
You're thinking the wrong way, because our bodies ain't ready for them preservatives.
You think my gut is sick?
Your gut, you have leaky gut.
Honey,
You do.
that ain't the only thing leaking.
You got leaky gut, you got leaky butt, and you got leaky brain. Unbelievable.
I just want my quality of life to be good as I'm here. If I died tomorrow, right on. And Michelle, tell them this. If I died tomorrow, you tell them this.
I get my Corvette.
You can. No, I want you to tell them I had a great time.
Yeah.
I didn't miss a beat. I did all the things I always wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no regrets.
Well, your birthday is coming up.
Yes.
I don't even want to think about the day that I have to eulogize your ass.
Oh,
because it ain't gonna happen.
Would
be a party though.
I'm gonna be 56 years old.
And here's the crazy shit. That's the year my mother died.
She was 56. My God.
And you're so young and full of life. And she was the opposite.
I'm full of something. I don't know if it's life.
Leaky.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 56 years old.
So
That's
imagine how young that
crazy.
is when you think about it now.
Yeah.
Way too young to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the point is, you were so full of life, and she was just like the opposite, for whatever reason in her life.
Mm-hmm.
It got cut short because of a horrible situation. But you are here to celebrate your 56th year.
56 years.
What does it feel like to sit back and say you're 56? You're on the closer side to 60, y'all.
Yeah, I'm pushing 60.
Okay.
What does it feel like? It feels great. I've never had, my life has never been better, honestly.
I know.
In fact, I remember when I turned 40, I thought, wow, I've really hit my stride now. All of the time before 40 there was so much mishigas and so much just, trying to, the 20s was trying to please
everybody
people.
else.
Yep.
Yeah.
The 30s was still trying to get the recognition in this business and trying to make my mark, right? So by 40, I'd gotten all that stuff out of the way. I could just be on cruise control and actually really, really enjoy it.
I will say one great thing about reality TV. I have different points of views on it, conflicting points of views. And the one good thing is it's opened the doors for any type of person to be able to be who they are in the public eye, for better or for worse. Because I know for me, even when I was 26 and 27, the time was ticking and these younger girls were coming up.
Right.
So now being 48, I almost don't worry about my age and the clock ticking anymore because there's only me, only one me.
Yeah.
No, only I can deliver what I do. There's only one RuPaul. Only Ru can deliver what Ru does. A lot of people think they can do what you do, but they cannot do what you do because only you can do what you do. And everybody else that tries to come behind you, me or whoever else out there, is only going to pale in comparison because they aren't you.
Right.
So they're always going to be compared. So the one good thing about aging today is that there are no rules anymore.
Right.
Think about the Marlena Dietrich days or the Lana Turner days. And back then when they were signed their whole life away, especially the women, and the women really had no worth except what they were making in the movie. They didn't really care about their lives and what they did. They just couldn't go anywhere, couldn't take a suntan. Like they were owned.
They were under contract.
100%.
Yeah.
But they also would be kind of ushered out eventually.
Yeah.
when they aged out. But now you can kind of be whoever you want to be and celebrate it.
Well, I think it also depends on your ability to sustain and expand your perception of yourself. I talk about this all the time. You know, the only thing that's ever stood in my way really has been my own limited perception of myself.
Correct.
My experience here is as vast as my own imagination. But even having said that, being able to clear out some of the blockage. I'm not talking high colonics here, but actually I am.
I love a high colonic.
Well, it's almost like an emotional
It's
high
eulogy.
colonic.
Yeah, eulogy, an analogy. Oh my God, I said eulogy.
Ooh, girl.
What's that mean?
But it's being able to recognize the areas where you are blocked and really being able to clear that out and say, you know what? Not only is that not useful for me, but I am willing to every day chip away at it more and more, because it feels like a tail that grows back every day, and that you have to constantly maintain, shaving it down.
Yeah.
So, and I'm talking about these ideas that we have of ourselves that really stand in our way. You know,
If anybody understands that, it's me, loud and clear.
I think most people can articulate it and they could intellectualize it, but the actual work it takes to clear a path and to recognize that voice, that saboteur, when it comes up is genius.
And what's the actual way to clear the path?
Well, I tell you, and I've said this many times in this podcast, I meditate in the morning and I'm able to see myself from outside of myself.
And what does that do, being able to see yourself sitting there meditating?
Well, I'll tell you what it does. It strengthens the musculature of the awareness that I am not my thoughts. I am the awareness of my thoughts.
And how does that clear a path for you to achieve what you want?
I'll tell you why. Because it unplugs the ego. The ego says, "This is me. This is everything it says that I am on my driver's license. I'm this. I got this much money. I'm this and that. I'm hot." When you sit and meditate, and you become the awareness of your thoughts, that has nothing to do with your ego. It overrides the system of your ego, and you're able to see yourself, and you're able to live in that place of your true self, which isn't your ego. It's not your body. It is the consciousness. It is being conscious of being conscious. This doesn't make any sense to the brain, by the way. If you're trying to figure this out with your head, with your brain, you won't get it.
It's a matter of trying to help the people out there that are listening, in the sense that you talk about clearing the way. You talk about pulling out of your body and look at yourself. The way I see it, if I was listening, I'm going, okay, I can pull out of my body, see myself sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And then what the fuck's that going to do?
Well, living in that place, even a few seconds of being in that place, of seeing yourself, allows that to grow, and it allows it to build muscle.
So once it builds, it'll overtake.
It will balance the other.
Okay.
What you're looking for is a balance. You're looking for the clarity. When I meditate and I see Earth, I'll imagine myself as Sandra Bullock in that movie Gravity, looking at Earth down there. There's this quiet serenity. When you look at Earth from that far away, it looks so beautiful. It looks unchanged.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about the water bill, or you're thinking about, the price of gas, or whether he's cheating on you or not.
Yeah.
There's a certain serenity. And when you spend time in that place for yourself, all is right. All is right. You are unchanged. You get to spend time in your real truth. Because I feel like we come to this planet and we believe we're living in this play. It's like a play we're in, a production of something. And we get caught up in our roles. But the truth is, this play will close and some other actor will come in and play your role.
Yes. And
another show will come in and move in. But the true you is the actor playing the role. You're not the role. You're the actor playing the role. And that time outside of yourself, looking at yourself, it's like breaking the fourth wall and looking at your character on stage. You like press the freeze button, go freeze, and you're freeze.
Right.
You get to go outside and go, oh, I see what's happening. I see what this the plot is. I know what the plot is. I see my character's motivation. I see my character's shortcomings. And you can actually fix them or not do anything with them and just understand that it's not really that serious.
Yeah.
It's a play.
Yeah.
It's a play.
I love that.
In fact, it's a second-rate production.
It's an off-Broadway.
It's an off-Broadway play, for crying out
in
loud.
Weehawken, New Jersey, actually. I love that.
So that's what that time it takes to meditate, to get outside of your own head. That's what it does for you. And the more time you spend there, the stronger you can build a consciousness. You can identify that consciousness. And at one point, you don't have to meditate to remember that philosophy. You can be in the moment and remember it without having to meditate.
I know you do it longer now than when you first started, because we often talk about helping people here with meditation, me included. I'm a student. You're a teacher in many ways, even though you're a student as well of life. How do you meditate once a day? And if you do, how long?
I will meditate in the morning. First thing I do in the morning is I will stretch. I have to stretch, my
Because you had surgery, your back?
No, that too, but just because I'm friggin' old. But
Girl,
I have to open up my hips
My
a lot.
hips are the tightest part in my body.
Yeah, no, and it's very important. So I stretch, and then I will pray. I'm not religious, but
Right.
I will pray to
The greater good.
the greater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's a way to disengage the ego, and then I will meditate, and I will meditate for 5 minutes. Actually, in that world, time and space doesn't exist. So even if you can work out 15 seconds, 10, 5 minutes,
Yeah.
15 minutes,
Yeah.
great.
This app that I use, don't laugh, but it's the way that in everything that I've read, books, Eckhart Tolle, Marianne, all the books that I've read, I need to have guidance.
Mhm.
And that's what I love, like the end of a yoga class when you do corpse pose and they talk you through it. I love that. It's my favorite thing. So guided meditation works for me. So I use this app called OMG, I Can Meditate, or OMG, I Meditate, whatever it is. And it's a guided meditation. So she talks you through it. And I find I'm sitting up, I'm doing what I should be doing, my hands and my feet, and I'm not laying down because you could fall asleep.
Mhm.
I do find myself, and tell me if this is normal, the more I do it. So I'm up to like 12 minutes now. I do find myself, it's when you come out of it, I feel like that was 2 minutes. Like
Yeah.
it didn't, but I find myself in this halfway place. If I feel like I'm sitting up asleep, I'm in my body, I think,
Mhm.
or maybe I'm not. I'm almost in this halfway place where it feels like if I was lying down, I'd probably be asleep.
Yeah,
But I'm sitting up, so I'm not asleep.
right.
Is that normal?
I think so. I think there isn't as long as you can see yourself, as long as you can become conscious of being conscious, that's really, it's not rocket science. It's
Yeah.
not as complicated as most people think.
We all, including me,
Yeah.
want to make it a lot more complicated than it probably really is. And
Yeah.
this app has definitely helped me, because you could start at 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and keep going.
Yeah.
And there is something really, and when I'm done, I can't just go, okay, I'm ready to go. Like I almost have to take a minute to come out of it,
Yeah.
but it is rewarding, and it does kind of set a pace. And there is a beauty to it that, and I think that this might sound stupid, but even things like prisoners and people in the hospital, like they can benefit from this.
Yeah.
I really believe it.
I
Not
think so.
In
Oh,
personal rehabilitation.
everyone can. Everyone can. All right, so we're going to come back in just a minute. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. Hey, let's talk about them gorgeous sheets, Michelle.
You know what, RuPaul?
What?
I don't give a sheet. I give two and a fitted one.
I love it. The Boll and Branch sheets is what she's talking about.
Yes.
They're just so beautiful, and they're so comfortable.
Yes.
I love it. It's 100% organic cotton, which means they're very, very, very soft.
And they get softer over time. So the more you use them and the more you wash them and put them back on their bed, they get softer. And the good thing about Boll and Branch is everyone who tries them loves them.
Loves them.
Loves them. And you can try them for 30 nights. If you don't love them, which you will, you can send them back, which you won't. There's no risk, no reason not to give them a try. And all all their products come in the most gorgeous box, this really kind of sturdy box.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful gift to give for holiday season. Like you said, it's a thoughtful gift to give.
It's a perfect gift to give, and this is the season to do that.
Yes.
You know, everybody's giving the same old kinds of things. Why not give a gift that people are really going to use and really going to appreciate? Every time they lay down to go to sleep, they're going to think of you.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Before you try to comfort us, Boll & Branch not only treats customers fairly, but they treat their workers fairly, too. Bedding has a traditionally notorious bad reputation for sweatshops and child labor.
Yeah.
You never, ever have to worry about that with Boll & Branch. They're the first brand that ever received fair trade certification, so you never have to worry about how and where they were made. Plus, they donate a portion of every sale to charity to help fight human trafficking.
I love that. And you listen, they've got 5-star reviews everywhere.
Yeah.
Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times is talking about Boll & Branch.
To get started right now, go to bollandbranch.com, use the promo code RU, and that gets you $50 off of your first set of sheets. Bollandbranch.com, use the offer code RU, that's BOLL and branch.com. It's Boll & Branch.
We are back on the, we are back. What were you singing?
I don't want to show off no more.
Is that
Sutton Foster from The Drowsy Chaperone. She's so friggin' good. I can't even stand it. And she's done all, like I was telling you, Drowsy Chaperone, Thoroughly Modern Millie, Little Women, Young Frankenstein, Shrek. She was Shrek. She was Fiona in Shrek the Musical. And she's I think she's on a TV Land show right now called Younger.
Oh, yes. That's how I know her.
Yeah, so
that's how I know her.
She is so, so talented. And she's one person, like when you look at her, she's nonchalant, nondescript. She's not like, you look at Kristen Chenoweth, she's like, Bernadette Peters. She's so nondescript. And that's what I love about Sutton Foster is maybe in the real world, people just would have left her for whatever. And she has shut them all up.
Yeah, well, you know, I prefer Bananas Foster.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Give me Sutton, give me Bananas. I'd probably go for Bananas first.
Uh-huh.
But once it's gone, I'm going for Sutton.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I absolutely, absolutely love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just amazing the people who get to work like that, who get to do all this stuff, and have a body of work that is so vast.
That you can be so proud of. And the funny thing is when you start in some of these shows, especially ones that workshop, I was called by our agent to audition. This was my favorite thing for Sweeney Todd 2 days before I was leaving for London. It's not coming back to Broadway. It's going to off-Broadway, which usually means a big production like that will end up back on Broadway if they find the right cast.
Yeah.
To me, Mrs. Lovett has got to be, if not, one of, if not the most difficult roles in all of musical theater.
Is that the bad, is that the couple who are, those two people who are
cutting up people and putting them into pies?
Well, no, those are the leads, but aren't there two other horrible people?
She's Mrs. Lovett's Angela Lansbury.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
And you have to be British, which is horrible for an American person who really can't do a British accent, which most people can't. And she's Cockney on top of it. So not just British, she's East London. And then the emoting you have to put. So I had 2 days and I was like, yep, I hate to pass on auditions, but I'm going to have to pass on this one.
Well, but I've told you this before, time and time again. The audition doesn't have to be for that show. You want people to see you.
Yes,
so
true.
Go
but
in,
doing a half, I can't go in. It would be on tape.
Oh.
So you'd have to prepare. Going in is a different story.
Yeah.
100% I would go in.
Yeah.
Because then I can go, listen, this is what I've got. It's in workshop mode. But no, it was tape. And when it's on tape, you need time to prepare because that's all they've got.
Yeah.
They can't work with me in person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, this is one. But it's one of the most difficult things.
Do you have a go-to show? Like, if you're going in for a music theater storyline or a straight play, do you have something already prepared just in case?
I can sing any song at any given time. As far as a monologue goes, probably not, but I don't know if they do that. Once we're on a certain level, we're not doing a casting call, we're not doing a cattle call, which I've done 5 million of, they'll give me the sides to read. So I won't have to prepare a monologue.
Well, what if you're on a casting couch?
I'd spread my legs and then flip over.
Okay.
Come on,
right,
it up
you got the part.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See?
Well, it's just that simple.
I'm just going to say it hasn't worked for me to this point.
Really?
I have fucked all the wrong people. Sucked all the wrong peni. Hasn't worked.
I'm sure it's worked for some people, though. I'm sure it really has worked for some people.
Of course.
Of
course it's worked for people. I wish. The thing is, I'm just, I am too conscious of doing things the hard way. I've never done anything the easy way. I always make things difficult.
Why is that?
And I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a martyr in me, which
Yeah.
I hate. But there's a martyr in me of, I earned this. I worked for this. It wasn't just given to me.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Oh, but listen, there's something we said for that because, when things are just given to you, you don't really have the value. You don't really value it.
No, and they'll go away.
And they'll go away.
Yep.
How many times have you given someone money, a family member or someone, and they piss it away
Yep.
or something, and you're giving it to them out of hoping to help them
With an emotion attached to
Yes.
it. And same thing with let's use the lottery, for example.
Yes.
Almost, I think 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
the people that win millions blow it
Yep.
because it was given to them. There's a thing in Kabbalah called the bread, I forgot what it's called. I got to look it up. But anyway.
The pita bread?
No. I'm going to look it up while we're talking about it. The whole point is bread thing. That's what I wrote, Kabbalah bread thing.
Right.
Whole point is if it's given to you, bread of shame. So if it's given to you, it's not worth anything.
Yeah, you have to work for
You
it.
have to work for it. And I think I was raised that way. And Michelle, nothing's going to be dropped in your lap.
Right.
Even when it came to taking the RuPaul's Drag Race season 3, when we went through what we went through and I couldn't do season 1, and they said no to me again, season 3. And I told Leah Remini, and I told my Kabbalah teacher at the time, Batya, this is what I'm doing and I don't know what to do. And Leah said, Michelle, I don't give a shit if it's on a cable channel, because I was like, oh. She's like, they do not drop TV shows in people's laps.
Yeah.
You need to figure out how to make this work.
Right, because the radio station you were working with in Florida said you couldn't do it.
Again.
Yeah.
So they said no after I asked season 1. I was in a 5-year deal with them. As you know, I make the money.
Yeah.
My husband's a stay-at-home dad. If I left, they could have sued me for 5 years worth of salary.
Mhm.
I was making 6 figures a year. It was a good job.
Mhm.
Good enough to live down there in an expensive home and blah, 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 and live the good life and not save money, just make ends meet
Mhm.
because it's so expensive in Palm Beach County. But then after seasons 1 and 2 happened, and then you graciously came back for season 3, and they said no again, I called Leah immediately. And even Batya, who was my Kabbalah teacher at the time, said, you could either, this is a crossroads, you could either stay where you're safe and do nothing and be happy and never propel yourself to where you want to be,
Mhm.
or you could take a leap and you could push for it and make a change. And Leah said that about dropping the shows in the lap. And I went, you know what? I'm going to have to fight for this here. And then that's when I called up the president of CBS Radio and or vice president at the time. And I said, what do you think? And he said, absolutely. Now, mind you, as we filmed our last episode of season 3, I was outside and they said to me that they weren't re-signing me for my 5th year. They basically fired me.
Mhm.
But it was worth it because that changed everything for me.
Mhm.
Because that's when I went on to Miami. I did a year there, and then we decided to move out here.
Mhm.
And that changed everything because now I'm here to audition, to go on meetings, working on a one-woman show, working on shows with you, our future together.
Yeah.
I'm here with you. I'm present in this moment with you, my best friend, my coworker, everything, to create in the city that makes dreams happen, making my own dreams happen because I took a risk.
Yeah.
I could have played it safe. I could still be on morning radio in West Palm Beach right now,
Right.
or maybe not. But the bottom line is you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. I have no idea how I got on this topic, but I thought it was really, really important to share that.
Well, I think it's very important to share that because I think of those kind of things, people are faced with those crossroads all the time.
Maybe it was about, you were talking about Sutton Foster and their body of work
Well, yeah, no. Then
and things being given to you.
Yeah.
That's where it came
That's
from.
what it was.
Yeah, it was the bread of shame because the whole thought process is, and I was telling my daughter this, we were exercising, taking a walk around my neighborhood. I was telling her how I used to steal when I was a little kid. And everything I ever stole, I've either lost, broke it got ruined. And it was a big eye-opener for me when I almost went to jail for it when I was 16 years old. I never stole another thing again. I think it's an awful thing to do. But as a kid, I think we're tempted.
Yeah.
And I stole some shoes, and somehow somebody was watching over me. When they asked to check my bag, they didn't see the shoes.
Mhm.
They didn't dig. They just looked and they went, okay, and let me out.
Yeah.
But that moment scared the shit out of me so much. But what was really interesting was that every pair of shoes I stole, all the Barbie doll clothes that I stole when I was little girl, gone, lost, ruined, destroyed.
Yeah.
Anything that's given to you, for the most part, doesn't last.
Right.
Money, anything, it goes away.
Yeah.
There's
You have
something
earn
to
it.
be said in earning something.
Yeah.
Or for earning something.
I love that. All right, now listen, when we come back, we've got Raven-Symone. Yes, I did say
You
Simone.
better say it. You better say
it. She's going to talk to us on What's the Tea? I believe everybody should see a therapist.
Amen.
I really do. And therapists have helped me so much in my life.
I know
Just sort of clarify where I'm going and what my goals are. And that's where Talkspace comes in. Talkspace is an affordable storyline that will help you in your life. Only with Talkspace do you get unlimited messaging to your dedicated licensed therapist for just $32 a week.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they say, I want to go to therapy, but I don't know where to start. I don't know who to go to. This is the place you go. And you could find a therapist that works for you until you're happy. That's the beauty of Talkspace. This is how it works down, okay? It's how it works down. I mean, breaks down. Come on. You go to Talkspace.com/Rue or you download their app. Then you're going to speak with a Talkspace therapist representative where you're going to share who you are, your goals for therapy, etc. Because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's how you find the therapist that's right for you. Then you're going to pick a plan and be assigned a therapist that best fits your need. And then you go from there. There's 3 plans. The first plan is $32 a week. That includes unlimited messaging, being checked by a therapist twice a day, and a 10-minute live session in your first month.
That's gorgeous.
Amazing. The second plan is $43 a week. That includes unlimited messaging and a 30-minute live session a month. And the third plan is $69 a week. By the way, still a steal.
Yeah.
And that includes unlimited messaging and a 30-minute live session every week.
Everybody needs someone to talk to, especially
Yes.
someone who understands what your goals are, what your needs are, and that's what Talkspace is all about.
I love it. And for $30 off your first month, go to Talkspace.com/Rue, or you can download the Talkspace app on your Apple, your Android phone, and use the coupon code RU. Do it, get help, straighten yourself out. And you know what? Just unload on somebody else besides your family. It's Talkspace.
Okay, we got our special guest here. Raven-Symone is here.
Ow!
And we're just waiting for Michelle to get up in here. I guess
late.
she's having one of them vegan meals or something.
I had a vegan meal.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was very good. You guys had a wonderful selection of fruit.
Yeah.
Fruit.
Fruit. Oh, what is fruit?
Fruit and fruit.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Portmanteau there?
Wonderful selection. I enjoyed crafty. Thank you very much.
Yes. Now, you were talking about that this lot that we shoot RuPaul's Drag Race on, which is we are right now, is the same lot you shot That's so, she's so Raven. We are all so Raven.
We so Raven.
We so Raven.
We so Raven.
This is the same line.
This is where we shot That's So
How
Raven
many-
for 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, Zendaya, Casey Undercover,
Uh-huh.
Lab Rats,
Yep.
Mad TV filmed here.
Really?
Lucille Ball filmed
Yes,
here.
I know. Yes.
Laurel and Hardy. Like this is
the place.
It's the place to be. If you want a successful show, you have to shoot at Hollywood Center Studios.
It is the Dream Factory. And you know, when
Mm-hmm.
you think about the Dream Factory, you've been in show business since you were how old? 5 years old?
Since I was 2.
2 years old.
And I'm about to be 30 this year, Rue.
You know what? Honestly, let me tell you something. 30 is when you finally become an adult, actually.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
exactly what I said.
It is when you finally become an adult. And you can't tell anybody who's 20 that, but when you're 30, you feel it.
I knew it just because of the way people still stare at me at 25, even the accomplishments that I did get to. And I'm like, yeah, I'm 25. Aw.
Yeah.
But I feel like once that 3 comes,
Yes.
you really can't say aw to me anymore.
Right.
And that's all I want.
Well, you know, the thing that no one can tell you about 30 is that for the first time, you feel that you don't have to like everybody and everybody don't have to like you.
Like it.
And that is such a weight off of your shoulders. It was so great. And I'll never forget that. I remember turning 30 thinking, you know what? I spent so much time wanting everybody to like me. Now, you're, of course, a child star. Did you always have that, overlying idea of, I need everybody to like me?
My sentence was more of, I need people to buy into my brand.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew once I closed the door, I could take off all of the fakeness, and I didn't give a crap if people liked me.
And speaking of giving a crap,
hello!
look who just walked in.
Hi, I was getting my nails done.
Of course, the
You're
Cosmo girl is
You're giving
here.
me such Betty Page right now.
Oh my God! Well,
love
thank
it.
you. What a compliment.
Yeah, Michelle is doing this Scavulo Cosmo girl look, which is gorgeous on you. And I've been talking about it for weeks now. I think this is your look.
I love
I
you.
love it.
We've been talking to Raven-Symone about being a child star.
And what a child star
What a
she
child star.
was.
Started at 2 years old. And then I guess you got on the Cosby Show at 4 or 5.
I got a Cosby Show at 3.
At 3?
Little Olivia started at 3 years old.
I was 3 years old. I auditioned for Ghost Dad. I didn't get the part. I was too young, but I
Right.
went into audition for Bill Cosby because Sidney Poitier said that you should see this girl. And there's actually an audition tape my first one on the Cosby Show on YouTube, which is hilarious.
Wow.
Ma's birthday is for me. I don't know what I was saying.
Well, who started it? Did your mama say, I want my baby to be a star?
My daddy. My dad said that he had done things in his past, and I think that when I got popped out, I don't know what I did to make him say that this is possible, other than saying, I want to be on the Cosby Show. And then it happened.
Is it Simone or is it Simone?
It's Simone. It's Raven-Symone.
I knew it!
So, but you see, that's what color people are like.
I had a fight with somebody saying there's an accent on that bitch. It's got to be Simone or Simone.
It's Simone, and it's funny because I only get my name pronounced correctly in Canada or Paris.
Right, because that's what when you take French, you learn that's what the accent is. That's why I was like, why am I the only one calling her that?
Raven-Symone.
Yes.
I love that. That's beautiful. Now, okay, so what did your father do? Did he do it in Atlanta? Your father did his acting and stuff in Atlanta?
I don't know if he acted. I think he was a party promoter, dancer, and like performer in his own world. I'm sorry, Dad. I don't really know what you did.
This is in Atlanta.
This is in Atlanta. This is in Atlanta.
Is he from there?
Yes, he's from there. He was born in Riverside, but he grew up in Atlanta.
Wow.
And my mom's from Louisiana.
From Louisiana? Where in Louisiana?
Winfield, Shreveport. We got some people in Alexandria.
Well, you know, my father's from Mansfield, which is just 30 miles south of Shreveport.
Hi,
30
fam.
miles. Yeah.
You know, you have to go by last name. We're the Mosses.
We were the Charleses.
Okay, I'm sure there was a few manys of Charles.
There's several. Actually, my father had 14 brothers and sisters.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are they still mostly in Louisiana?
Well, they're mostly dead, Michelle.
Well, they had children and so on and so on.
Yeah. Well, they are. Well, honey,
That's a big Ancestry.com.
It is. And everybody fled to California, San Francisco, LA, San Diego, which is where I'm from. But my mother was from St. Martinsville, Louisiana.
Wow, you're a Louisiana.
I sure am.
Hi, do you cook gumbo?
I don't cook
She don't cook
anything.
shit.
You don't cook nothing?
No, I'm not a foodie. I don't
She's
care.
a good tea maker.
Well, I mean, look at your spelt
Well,
figure.
I do. I'm the food. You know, I'll eat it. I need it. I like crunchy things. I like popcorn. If there was one food I had to eat for the rest of my life, it'd probably be popcorn. What would yours be?
G-rated. My favorite
Uh-huh.
food. No.
Yeah. Too soon? Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Pasta salad, but not the pasta salad you're thinking. I like to take a Caesar salad
Yeah.
and a nice pasta with tomato, like a margarita pasta.
Yes, I
and
love
mix
that.
it together with the hot
Cold.
and the cold.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my girl.
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
Where in LA would you get that? Or you have to make it at home?
You can get it anywhere. Any Italian restaurant. You just say, bring me a bowl on the side after you bring me my salad and pasta together. And then I mix it all in the bowl by myself. And it tastes really good with raisins and cranberries with the hot pasta.
Disgusting.
Oh my God. It's such a pregnant food and I've never been pregnant. I just eat like a pregnant bitch.
That sounds like a modified kugel, you know?
Yeah, except you wouldn't put greens in kugel.
Yeah.
You put cheese.
It's a Jewish casserole that's it's sweet. It's like it's got like a custard with noodles
cheese.
and toasted almonds with raisins.
And raisins, yeah.
That
I
sounds
like to
me.
put cranberries in my kugel.
You can do cranberries instead of
Yeah,
raisins.
yeah.
But it's really good. When it's done right, it's really sweet and delicious.
Oh, I love
Cranberries
it.
in
And
a
cinnamon.
kugel.
Yeah. So now, a child star. Now, everybody asked you, how are you able to transform from a child star into an adult star so easily? What do you think the secret is?
Well, I would have to rebuttal and say, how do you grow from a child to an adult?
Right. Very difficultly. Is that a word, Michelle?
Yeah, but you're doing it in the public eye. So
Right.
even though it's easier to transition from a kid to a teenager to an adult, you did it all in the public eye, from Cosby Show to That's So Raven, and you know what I mean?
But yes, I do, which I have to say is why I think it works so well, because at every age bracket you saw me. I didn't start as a 2-year-old and then skip to 25 and then you only remembered me then. Like every single time you saw me, I was Cosby 3, Hanging with Mr. Cooper 7, That's So Raven 13, but between 7 and 13 I had movies and tours, and then up until now I've always done something. Right. So I grew up. And I even make it a point now. I was like, okay, I'm about to turn 30. I need to start looking for something so that I don't grow up too fast and you guys miss a section of my life with me.
Right. You know, you mentioned Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and one of the things we love to play here in this area of the world is dirty charades. Now, I have a dirty charades.
I got it.
But don't tell her. I'm going to ask her. What do you think the dirty?
Knowing you.
Yeah, knowing me. Yeah. What do you think the dirty charades for Hanging with Mr. Cooper is, Raven-Symone?
Is this an action or do I have to say it in words? Because I have an action.
No, not the action. I need you to say it in words. What do you think the dirty charades that
Would
would
be.
come from my mind? Because let me just say the parameters is we don't change any of the words. We don't add words to the title.
Okay.
We don't change the syllable. It's the
Right.
exact same amount of syllables.
So it'll sound like Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Yeah. Because
Only-
last week on the show we talked.
Yeah,
or
give me an
what is-
example.
Yeah. Last week, what was it?
The mirror has two faces.
yeah. It's Barbara Streisand's.
What's up, Doc? Which is
What's up, Doc? And then the mirror has two faces.
correct.
Right. And the mirror has two faces is
The mirror has two feces.
exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah. And then the what's up, Doc would be
What's up, comma, cock.
yeah, there. Yeah. See, it's simple.
Wow, that's easy.
So what would hanging with Mr. Cooper be, Raven-Symone?
They are simple. Don't think too much.
It's not too hard.
Okay.
It's obvious.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper, which would be banging with Mr. Cooper.
Or
No, that's a good
one.
one.
I didn't
That's
think about
very
it.
good.
Knowing
Yeah.
Rue, I would think it would be hanging with Mr. Pooper.
Exactly. Bing, bingo, bingo.
Thank you.
Yes. Hanging with Mr. Pooper.
But
Isn't
banging with Mr. Cooper is the porn version. That's
I
good
love
too.
that. That's
Yeah.
good.
There's different levels.
What happened to Mark? What's his name?
Mark Curry?
Mark Curry. Because this thing, you've been in show business your whole life. You've seen careers wane and ebb and flow and Aunt Esther, all of them, Uncle Remus and them. What do you do? What do you think of all that?
The wave pattern of somebody's celeb career.
What makes them
Yeah.
keep going? What makes them not?
Because you've never gone away. You've always been a success.
I will say it's like going to the beach. You chill in the wading pool until that wave comes, and
Right.
you have to get ready and start swimming out and get ready for that crest when you see it. And if you do not act on time, then you'll miss the crest, and then you'll get sucked underwater somewhere. If you don't paddle hard enough, you'll go under and you'll get that way. But back to Mark Curry,
yeah.
he was on a show on Nickelodeon with Charles in Charge, dude.
Scott Baio.
Scott Baio for a little while. He's always touring. He has 2 beautiful kids, and we keep in touch with him.
So he's
but
doing a stand-up.
he does a stand-up.
Oh.
I've been very blessed to work with all comedians, so they always, even if they go away, they're always in some club somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
But I've learned over the years to see a crest and start swimming out into the ocean and ride it until it goes back down.
Has your career ever had an ebb?
Yes.
When
I
was
retired.
You retired.
I did, and I was very proud of myself. I made it a point when I was younger to retire at 27, and I made it. And I retired for 4 or 5 years.
What did
that
you
would be
do?
26. Well, I sat on the couch before,
Yeah.
just literally buzzed all my brain cells out. And then as I started getting mush-brained and I
Yeah.
wasn't learning anything, I said, I'm going to go to school. So I am in college now.
Really?
I am. I'm going to the Academy of Art University. I'm a painter. I'm a watercolorist and an oil
Is it
person.
online, like Phoenix University?
Ooh.
I am online, but it's not Phoenix. It's
Okay.
it's actually a place where a lot of Pixar and Disney animation people come from.
So you have an interest in doing this art medium.
I have an interest in becoming a well-rounded artist.
I love that.
Thank you.
Raven.
I like my life now
Wow.
that I'm actually doing things that I want to do. I'm really trying to find it for you guys while we talk.
And being true
but-
to who you are.
Exactly.
But you said you retired, but you came back to the business, and you're on The View now.
I am, and you know whose fault that is?
Huh.
Whoopi Goldberg's.
She seeked you out.
She didn't. The show wanted me to guest, and
Right.
I was definitely like, I'm retired. I'm never going on TV again.
You're
I hate
kidding
it.
me.
Oh my goodness! Come on. I mean, you're riding a wave, right?
Right, yeah.
You're right. You've taken your breaks.
Yeah.
I've ridden the same wave from 2 years old. I
Right.
never had like a crest.
You needed
Right.
the break.
I needed a break, right?
Mhm.
So I had my years, I did my break, and I was like, I'll go on. I love Whoopi. She's like my auntie in my
Mhm.
head, and all I wanted was to make her happy. So I went on the show. I fell in love. I didn't want to come back to LA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at
And-
that. I'm looking at I know that picture. I know the original that picture was.
Yeah.
It's I know
Yeah.
that because
Annie
it's a
Leibovitz,
photograph.
right?
Yeah. Is it I remember there's a series of kids crying and stuff. That's a watercolor. Look how beautiful that is.
You did that?
I did that.
Raven-Symone.
Is
Thanks
is
for
there
calling me by my name.
You're welcome.
is there a website where you
I'm
can
on Tumblr as Raven-Symone CP, and I only post artistic things
CP
there.
for what?
Christina Pierman, my last name.
Wow.
Wait, what's
That's
your
a
last
water-
name?
Pierman.
Pyramid, huh?
Mhm.
That is
You
beautiful.
painted that too?
Yeah, that's a watercolor.
Had you always been able to do that?
I always doodled on my scripts, and I always
Oh,
did
that sounds
things-
nasty.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Oh
you
my
know.
goodness. That's a watercolor right there.
That's a watercolor.
That is gorgeous.
I am
Thank
so impressed.
I am very, very impressed.
I love
Good
it.
for you.
I love it.
So
It
the
brings me
Tumblr-
sanity.
Yes. So the Tumblr is
Raven-Symone CP, and it's only my artwork and artistic ideas.
Right.
And as soon as class starts next semester, I'll be probably posting my pages.
But you're rolling your eyes.
Yeah, because I have to do paperwork, and it's not painting. It's going to be 19th century history.
Oh.
See, look at your faces.
Yeah.
This is exactly the same. I don't want to do this. I'm going to
Yeah.
paint. So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
Wow.
Well, you got to take art history with art. That's just
I have
what
to
it's
do it.
about.
And you know what? I learn a lot, so I can't be mad at it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to work. I'm working towards my master's, so we'll get it.
So what if, say, Lee Daniel? Oh, well, you are Lee Daniel. That's right.
Yes, she was a baby mama.
You know what
Baby
I was
mama.
about to say? I was saying, what if some big producer, like, I don't know, the first thing came to mind was Lee Daniel, came to you and said, I have a sitcom for you, but I forgot. You were on that gorgeous show. I'm sure you're coming back on Empire.
Oh, well, they definitely haven't called me yet.
They have not.
They have not called me yet.
Well, because the
But I have
storyline kind of like was,
it fizzed.
yeah.
But I got the baby. My
Yes.
mom was like, why are you doing a guest? I said, because I got the womb.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
like, baby mamas have to be around for like 18 years at least.
Right.
Everybody knows that's a separate job.
Right.
But they
Right.
could
They
recast
could bring
me.
that back.
But they could recast me like they did the moms on
Fresh Prince?
On Fresh Prince.
I
No, they
doubt
won't do
it
that.
because they get that you did such a beautiful job, and it was so
you.
great to see as an actor to see you deliver those nuances. I did not see little Raven-Symone at all. I didn't see that. I saw a hustler with a baby
Hey!
and all of that. It was brilliant.
Thank you
Trying to
very
get
much.
away from an abusive
Trying to get
man.
away from an abusive man.
I honestly have to say, I think it's because, one, I knew if I failed in any type of way to show any type of Raven to the best of my ability, I'm going to get talked about for the rest of my life. We've
Right.
seen you see the examples of that.
Sure.
And Lee wouldn't have had it any other way. Like,
Yeah.
he definitely doesn't like anybody who's just pretending. He likes
Right.
actors, real people doing these roles. And I'm so happy that Jussie Smollett signed me up for it and Lee gave me a chance. Y'all need to call me back because sister needs a job.
Yeah. So
you got a job, girl.
You right. You got
a
But we all got
job.
side jobs. I like my 9 to 5 plus.
You like your
that's
hustle.
extra. I like my little hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would go back. I know you're on the View, but you would go back to a series if you were interested.
It would depend.
Depend on what it was. What would you want? A drama or a comedy?
Or a dramedy.
A dramedy. I like that.
Fun.
Is it bad to say I need to know who the cast and crew is?
Oh.
I mean, what if you
Say
get a
yes?
full-time gig on Empire?
No.
No.
Where do they shoot that?
Chicago.
Why in Chicago?
No. They play it off as New York. That's for them.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know. Maybe it's the tax break.
Now, earlier you mentioned your mom and your dad, and I know that your dad was your manager was at one point.
No, yeah.
And you know what? A lot of young people have their parents as managers, and a lot of times I know Brandy. It was with Brandy and the Jacksons and all that.
Doesn't end good.
How do you say, you know what, Mom, Dad, I've had enough. Beyonce did it. How do you make that switch? At
Without
what point-
feelings getting hurt.
What and when did you do it?
Next question.
Oh, okay. Yes, I got
Feelings
it.
got hurt.
Got it. I did not. Yeah.
Feelings don't get hurt. Feelings don't get hurt. You
No?
just don't talk about personal.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is
Don't
hard
talk
when
about
it's your
personal.
parent, you
It
know what I
is,
mean?
yeah.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, I have wonderful parents. They did wonderful things for my career.
Yeah.
They trusted me with my career when I decided to make that choice. And here I am.
Yeah, well, thank God.
So do you have a confidant? Like, do you your agent? Do you have a life coach? I mean, where do you go? Do you meditate? What do you do?
I do meditate. My mom is somebody that still I call and be like, oh, whatever. But then sometimes she gives me advice that I'm like, no, Mom, I'm gonna have to come out. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to do it.
Right.
You know, so you got to take it here and there.
Did
And
you go to her before you decided to come out, your mom?
Yeah, I did, and I postponed an interview for a long time because I didn't want to make her mad. But I was like, I can't live anyone else's life but my own. So I've lived everyone else's in the image of Raven-Symone, and now we're gonna live in the image of Raven-Symone. State of Pyramid. So I finally did it, and she was like, everybody in my family was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna ruin you. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's
Right.
2015, get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I talked to myself. I've been around a lot of people in my life, very egotistically speaking, at a very young age till now. And Miss Debbie Allen, Whoopi Goldberg now, my own mother, Phylicia Rashad, you have Martin and Cosby and Bill, everybody that I've worked with. When I have to make a decision, like, what would my Hollywood family say if I did this?
Yeah.
Because as a child, you don't want to let down anybody.
Right.
And especially in this industry, I don't want to let down anybody. So I always make really my best to make rational decisions.
Yeah. It's not easy.
It doesn't ever get easy.
No.
Right. What advice would you have for a kid who is,
A
old enough? Well,
2-year-old trying to break in. What advice do you have?
I would say run.
Yeah, really?
I don't think kids should be in the industry.
Really?
Kids are super talented. I just don't think it's right until the laws are a little bit better. I think if you're a kid in the industry, the laws need to be changed. You need to be able to have a psychiatrist starting immediately. It should be free.
Mm-hmm.
You should not have family members run your business.
Mm-hmm.
You should be and understand the rules of engagement with emancipation,
Right.
with teachers, with psychiatric problems, with I call it the invisible sickness that people in my position get.
What is the invisible sickness?
The invisible sickness, we all have it. It's the question. It's a sickness that brings the question of how did you make it this far without going crazy? It's an invisible sickness.
Right.
Nobody talks about it because you're famous. You have everything in the world. Why are you sad?
Right.
Why are you doing this to yourself? Because I'm young and you're forcing me into a box and having me make money. It's like child pornography.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right.
it's an invisible sickness that no one will talk about and people just dismiss because we're making you lots of money.
Yeah.
But that happens with kids when you're not even famous, especially when you're going through your teens, just as a teenager, because I have 2 teenage daughters. So I know that sometimes my oldest, who has issues with that stuff, will say, Mom, I know my life is good. Your life doesn't have to be bad to be depressed or sad. Sometimes it's just what you're going through.
Sure.
So imagine going through that on national television.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's tough.
Welcome to your drug abuse. Welcome to
Yeah.
your alcoholism.
Yes.
Welcome to the promiscuousness. And then you go, oh my goodness, you're a role model.
Right.
I'm not a role model first. I'm a
Right.
human first.
Correct.
And then I'm someone's daughter or son.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm a brand. I'm not even a person. I'm a brand. Let's remember what a brand is.
Yeah.
Like, not even human.
Right.
So, and then you want me to be good? Get out of here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's it's interesting for people to think about that because they would have to unhinge and deconstruct their whole belief system to get into what that really means. Because so many people live in a fantasy world as opposed to whatever reality is. But most people live in the matrix, in the fantasy world.
Right.
They
only see the pretty.
Yes.
And that's all they want to see.
That's all they sell you to.
Correct. But if they knew that the majority is not the pretty, they would think twice. But they'll never get that. They'll never get that reality.
They never do get that. And we talked about it on The View a few times. And, it's you have to still put on. Like, I try to tell the truth. And then people are like, oh, calm down. You're tripping.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
all right, cool. So when somebody's getting bailed out of jail, you tell them they're tripping.
Well, it's your
Right,
opinion. Nobody
right.
could tell you your opinion's tripping. Because
But
that's your opinion.
we talked about this last week. There is a thin line between diplomacy and decorum and telling the truth. Now you can, because a lot of people, they don't want to know the truth because it's like a buzzkill for
They
most
can't
people.
handle the
They
truth.
can't handle the truth.
truth.
So it's sometimes easier just play along.
Yeah.
Just play along. It's not easy for a kid to do that, but when you're in a talk show forum, even on this podcast, we balance it because a lot of people cannot have a real conversation.
Rue and I are this is our baby. We're very real. We've been friends for 20 years and we're very honest with each other, but if people heard the 100% unfiltered us,
Right.
most would probably run.
I'm sure they would run.
But the real people wouldn't.
The real people
True,
would not.
they'd stick around.
But there are very few. I've found in my life, there are very, very few of those who are willing to actually have a real discussion about real issues.
Right.
And not get sensitive about it.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that's the issue. People are too sensitive now.
Yes.
They're too sensitive. We are having to be too politically correct.
Yes,
and it's
ma'am.
not fair. And you go and you raise a child and tell them, you need to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You need to tell me the whole truth. But then as soon as you turn 30 or an adult, you start lying.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all those rules that you grew up with run out the window.
Yeah.
And then you expect me to trust you? No.
Right. Yeah, that dog won't hunt. It won't
I'm
hunt.
sorry, I get issues. I have a problem.
No, I love that you're honest. And I think that I know, and Rue knows, that people hearing you say that are affected by the Hollywood machine would say, girl, calm down.
Oh,
Right.
It ain't that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? Those people, and it is refreshing because you know you get so much spin on things. I love the shows like I love Scandal, and I love even Veep and even how to Get Away with Murder because it shows you the underbelly of spin. It shows you, and then they go out and tell the people, well, this is what happened, but we the audience knows it was a difference, and I love that. I love that about the show Naked and Afraid too.
I love that show. I'm going camping and we're calling it Naked and Afraid.
You are not. Are you going to do it?
God. Well, there's going to be some nakedness. There's going to be some naked. Oh my! You don't even. Oh my God! That's 2 shows in the world that me and my brother get along with: Naked and Afraid and like UFC fighting. Everything.
Yeah.
Can you please do a drag Naked and Afraid?
Well, we almost did. We did last season. We had a naked something. The first show last season was naked. But we're going to go to a break. But I do want to say,
we're always afraid. By the way,
what the Naked and Afraid part is it's the fact that people go into a wilderness survival situation with these morals and ideas that they brought in, whether it's religion or moral code, whatever. But nature don't care about that.
They don't care about that.
Nature don't care. You either kill or be killed.
I'm gonna bite you in your ass
That's
many
right.
times.
That's
I don't
right.
care.
Nature will
I don't care.
fuck you up. Yeah.
I don't care where you're from. I don't care if you vegan or grass fed.
I don't care if you're circumcised or uncircumcised.
No.
I don't care.
No, I don't care if your girlfriend said don't cuddle up with that woman because I don't want her pee-pee touching yours.
This is called ammonia.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Pneumonia. You're going to get pneumonia if you don't cuddle up with me.
You better cuddle up. You better get your ass over here.
You better eat that cricket and the eggs inside of that.
And
Did
that
you see
turtle,
the snake?
And that turtle. Yes. Yes.
Or you're going to get ammonia.
That's right. Kill
ammonia.
or be killed. Well, Raven-Symone. Now, is it Simone or
Yay.
Simone?
Simone.
Yay.
I don't want to go. Wait, stop. Go to commercial.
I know, but we have more. We have the other show that
that's true.
we
have to
we
work.
do these interviews during our little break period. But now, so you are great. We could talk forever,
And we will next time.
we will next
come
time.
back.
Well, we'll have you to the house.
We'll have you to the house. We'll
Yeah.
play some dirty charades, hanging with Mr. Pooper.
Like talking like
Banging
I'm her wife.
Mr. Cooper.
Yes. Oh.
Banging Mr.
When I see you next, I want a whole list of titles. That would be so good.
I'm a lot dirtier than people think.
Oh no, I know.
bring it.
First of all, I know that you're very smart and your mind is uninhibited. And people who are smart, they don't have those boundaries around their head.
Right.
So you're allowed to say things like, because one of my favorite, I'll leave you with this. One of my favorite TV shows is Dr. Queef Medicine Woman.
Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace. Raven-Symone, thank you so much.
Thank you, RuPaul.
And I will
Thank you,
see you out there on the
Michelle.
main
welcome.
stage.
I'm gonna put my clothes back on. I'm gonna put my clothes back on.
Me too.
Because
I put
we're
mine on.
naked.
We're
right
naked.
now.
Not
and
afraid.
Are you afraid?
I'm not afraid.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Not like before. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else?